I want you to succeed at things that you never thought were possible, and I want you to fail at things that you never thought were possible. But I just want you to take that failure and move forward.
Surprise, motherfucker. We're here. I had to come with a special edition Saturday Imperfect podcast because I had to catch my man on the beach because Thursday was a very, very crazy fucking day for me. So, I mean, we're going to get started right away and, see what we can get done, talk some shit like we usually do. Kind of stay on the parenting tip, but kind of go anywhere from there. I mean, me and my guest today, we go back to a point where we were selling fucking DVDs to get gas money to play 2K on the Dreamcast. Yes, 2K on the Dreamcast for all you young bucks. So I'm going to bring in my main man, Anthony Harris. He's my guest for today. He's out on the beach, so
up,
he might
buddy?
have Costa Rican Wi-Fi too after all that shit he talked for the last 5 weeks.
I'm on the Cape. I'm still on the continent, so it should be fine.
But what's the deal, man? What's up today? What's going on? What you up to these days?
These days, I'm just relaxing with the family, being a stay-at-home dad right now because COVID came and kicked your boy out of work, but it is what it is. But I kind of like being home for the summer. I don't know what these teachers get all mad about. I mean, other than $40,000 a year, but it's fine being a teacher. But the summer's off. It's a beautiful day. I'm down on Cape Cod. I can't complain. How you been?
I'm good, man. Other than the opposite of that, and people on unemployment making more goddamn money than I make working full time, which is not a joke.
Stop.
You out there living lavishly on the Cape, and I'm out here dying. How many kids you got now, man? 32?
Nah, man. I'm at two and a pop.
2 biracial angels.
2 and a possible. Oh yeah. I got a boy and a girl. Aiden. Everybody knows Moosh. And Aubrey. Everybody will know her because she don't stop talking.
So, as far as like what's going on now, as being a parent, because I want to pull more parents than anything, because everybody, this is the most 50-50 thing I've ever seen in my life as far as like what you see with Corona. When do you think, in your opinion, it's safe for you to send your kids back to school?
It needs to be, I think, the town or city wherever you live, them and the teachers union, wherever they may be, need to be on board. So I've heard a couple plans for Wilmington, and I've heard a couple of plans for Lexington, and it's like 1 week on, 1 week off. So if there's 30 kids in the classroom, I go, me and my 15 go Monday through Thursday, Friday we clean. Next Monday, I'm doing a bunch of homework from packets that I got that previous week. But the next Monday, Raymond Darden and his 15 are in the classroom Monday through Thursday. But some of the teachers don't really like that. They don't want to clean, yet they don't want other companies to come in and clean. So it's a 50-50 thing where, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And I think rather safe than sorry. Not everybody has home care. Not everybody can afford child care. Because, if you're a 2-parent, 2-income household, who's going to be able to stay home?
Yeah, question.
The 1 week that
what I'm saying is, like, in your opinion, like if they said school's open tomorrow, you sending your kids tomorrow?
I'd have to talk to my
Well,
wife
she ain't
about that.
coming
I don't
now,
think
motherfucker.
so.
You looked around like she was right there.
Honey, you in there? No, it'll be tough. I need to know what we're doing. I need to know a lesson plan. I need to know the seating plan. I need to know what the capacity of the classroom is. I need to know how many kids are going to be in that classroom, if there's going to be masks allowed or enforced. Like, there's just so much that, you know, it's just tough, man. It's tough. It's one of the craziest things. And we lived through 9/11, right?
I mean,
We lived through
apparently, yeah,
9/11.
with
We were
9/11, I was in D.C. So that's I was in D.C. during the
and
9/11.
that's as
I was
crazy
in
as it
Boston
gets.
during the marathon bombing. So I've seen all the craziness of all sides of it.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
then, you know,
But at least everybody could go to school. Everybody could go to work.
but
But
at this
I
point,
don't
I
know.
think
I
it's
don't
more
think I'm sending
opinionated.
my kids tomorrow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I
true.
mean, I got a poll up. So,
What about
yeah,
you?
tomorrow.
You sending them back
Fucking
tomorrow?
today.
He's like,
No,
y'all have been
it
here
has
too
nothing to
long.
do. It really, it's not even that aspect of it. It's just that once I crunch the numbers the right way, I don't. It's no. I don't think nothing's gonna happen. I just don't think anything's gonna happen. I think from the
Mm,
beginning, the understanding that we kind of didn't have from the beginning is what where people kind of freaked out, and I think that level of death and that pace of death is completely gone. So I think once
mm-hmm,
they got more of an understanding that I was more at risk, more the elderly, then it gave people a chance to protect other people. And when they put the kind of policies in place, it changed a lot to where you see the problem now, though, is that people think when they hear coronavirus that it's still that beginning craze. So like, motherfucker, you're
mm-hmm,
dead. And then when
mm-hmm.
it's like so and so recovered, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. So like, for instance, I saw Rand Paul give a speech, and people are like, he's fucking crazy. He's not gonna touch our kids. I'm like, Rand Paul had coronavirus. So like he's the only
Yeah.
person in the Senate that had it. So I think he has
Yeah.
a pretty good
Qualified to
perspective on
speak
it.
on it. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like, you got the lefties and you got the righties and you got the Trump supporters and all this. But I think if we wear masks when we should, and we wash our hands and we sanitize, we should be fine. So ideally, would I be tentative to send my kids back to school because one's going in the first grade or kindergarten and the other one's going in the sixth grade? If there's someone there enforcing the rules, hey, you're going to the bathroom, wash your hands. Don't touch his pencil. Don't touch her book. Wash your hands, sanitize, wear a mask. Okay, we're 6 feet apart so we can take them off. Fine. But if it's just like, how kids are, like, I coach a baseball team in town, and it's like, and they're, 10, 11, 12 years old, and it's constant. Hey, you're not on the field. Put a mask on. Put a mask on. Put a mask on. Put a mask on. Don't touch his bat. Put a mask on. It's going to be hard for a room, a teacher, male or female, with 14 kids, trying to get them to do that and focus on work and learning and all that. So I'm definitely 50-50. But yeah, I'm
All right.
50-50.
So
If they could ensure that, I would do it.
I mean, they're gonna have to get somewhere close to kind of what they want to do when it comes to that. As far as while it's going on, starting from toilet paper to hey, now you can walk into a restaurant with a mask until you sit down and you can take it off to eat. As far as Florida, what's the craziest thing
Mm-hmm.
you've seen personally with your own eyes? So I can compare it to my Florida shit. Like the craziest
Okay.
Corona
All right. Well,
shit that you've seen.
I'm going to call Florida New Hampshire South
Yeah.
because I went to Salem, New Hampshire to go to Christmas tree shop. Let's call it tax day. Let's call it April 15th. I walk in, I got a mask on. I get my sanitizer from my car. I wipe my cart down. About a family of 6 just walked by me with their camo shirts and hats and no mask. And I was like, you know what? I don't even know if I need these placemats right now. I'm like just because they were just like, it's live free or die. Then I went to Hampton Beach for my birthday, walked into a restaurant, and we had masks on, and the first thing the person said was, you guys must be from Massachusetts. I was like, well, apparently it's Massachusetts. So, yeah, put me on the balcony away from everybody else. It was insane, bro. Like, that's the craziest thing I've seen. Just, and this was when it was still, quote unquote,
Yeah.
dangerous. Like, they were just like, we're not wearing masks. So, if there was 100 people in the store, it was probably 35 of them didn't have
Yeah.
masks on. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, down here in the beginning, like people were just like, "Yo, fuck masks." I mean, the contrary to what people believe now, you can't go into a place now without a mask on.
Yeah.
And as far as the story that I saw, this was like fairly recently, to where I say it's a little bit more dangerous for at-risk people. This 80-year-old woman walked into Walgreens
Oh, God.
without a fucking mask, with a goddamn oxygen thing she was dragging in there to buy some
Oh.
motherfucking 305s, which is the cheapest cigarette in goddamn this side of the Mississippi. And we walked out, and I was like,
First
"Whoa,
of
what
all,
the fuck?" Like, I can understand me not wearing a
first
mask,
of all,
but you might just die walking to Walgreens, let alone with coronavirus.
bro, first of all, the fact that she is willing to light a flame next to an oxygen tank,
Oh yeah, you
it
already
just
know those.
means
That's Florida all day.
she has no regard for her life. So she's just like, hey, I'm gonna need that cancer on the double. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like people just don't care. Or what's with this look though? What is this doing?
Oh yeah.
Or what's this doing? It's like, oh, I can't breathe.
So
It's
when you go and you look at it, basically from the beginning they were saying stuff like, "Oh, it lasts on surface for 14 days," and now it's like, "Oh, it's near impossible to catch it from surface." So what
mhm.
the point of you having the mask over your mouth only is really for you to protect your spit from traveling. So the nose
To
shit is
other
really like,
people.
okay, it doesn't matter because unless you have a N95 hospital grade mask, you can't prevent yourself from catching it like that anyway. So as long
Hmm.
as you're not coughing on shit or coughing in people's faces, I guess that is what the spread is, the fear of like spreading it to that at-risk youth. But once again, there's been so much information that if you're not watching, you know, I don't even want to say the fucking news because that's even crazier. It's just like you have to go
Yeah, that's
and do
terrifying.
your own research on it and how it's working, how people think it's supposed to work from that point. But I guess moving forward, from away from coronavirus completely, what is your goal? Because obviously we know how we were both kind of single parent raised, and I didn't even bring that up. But like a fucking single parent right now, how are you
Oh,
accomplishing?
it's got to be
It's
super
impossible. You
hectic.
can't go to work. You can't do anything.
It's super hectic. Super
But
hectic.
but
Yeah,
what
yeah.
is your goal as a parent?
As far as Corona or
Nah,
just
Corona.
like being a
Yeah,
parent.
as far as just being a parent, because
Uh,
like from where we came from and what you felt that you needed to do, and I feel like going forward, it's a learning process of what we're supposed to kind of pass on to our kids because there's some shit that we just didn't know that we
mhm.
learn as we go along the way.
True. Um, I just want my kids to know that, if I could have my kids learn anything, I would want them to be kind, to be selfless, um, to look out for their friends who may not have as much as them. Not that we have the most, but you know what I mean. It's like, you know, and just be kind to people. I told my son this when he started fifth grade last year. It's like, I know you got friends from the baseball team and the soccer team and the basketball team, but if you're kind of cool with the kid and he's sitting by himself at the lunch table, kick it with him for a day. You know what I mean? It may make their day. Like I told my kids, I want I want you guys to be the kids that parents say, why can't you be more like Aiden? Or why can't you be more like Jazzy? You know what I mean? It's like always respectful, always on time, not necessarily yes sir, no sir, but please and thank you. And just realize that me and their mom did everything we possibly could to get them everything they needed and at times stuff they wanted and stuff they didn't need. It's like it's not easy because shit's expensive, bro.
You
It's
don't have to
expensive.
tell me.
You know, I called you a couple weeks ago. I was driving all over the Northeast looking for an Xbox because Xbox has been sold out because it's made in China, and I found one. I found one 2.5 hours away from where I live. But that's because it's something that I wanted my son to have because he deserved it, and it would make my life a little bit
I
easier. But that's it. I just want respectful, loving kids. Like, love people the way we loved you guys.
no, you said that's it. Like it wasn't a perfect fucking explanation. It's crazy because I remember when we first moved here. Like my my daughter was 18 and somebody was talking to her about church and sinning, and she was like, "I don't think I've sinned," and I was like, "Well, I must have done a great job as a parent for you to be that
Yeah.
fucking ignorant."
Or confident. Or confident.
I was like,
Like,
"You just sinned
sinning?
by
What's
saying that
that?
dumb shit."
Yeah, you got me in hot water. What the hell are you doing?
But I guess the next question I would ask is, what do you feel that you were lacking as a kid, and that you try to say, you know what, I didn't have this, so I'm gonna put it on. And from my experience, what I've seen for the most part is kids that grew up level headed from a 2 parent household always have fucking better credit and always have better
Hmm.
idea of money management.
Well, I tell you what, I wish they taught me that shit
I
in
wish
high
they taught me
school.
that shit now.
Like, I mean, for lack of being ignorant, I have yet to use the Pythagorean theorem outside of fucking 1997. Like, this shit does not come in handy. You know what I mean? It's like a squared plus b squared equals I still owe Visa $1,000. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's like it didn't make any sense. I don't need ratios or anything like that. But um, I would say what I was lacking. I don't want to say. I hate to sound like a dick. Like my mom busted her ass and my grandmother busted their ass. And the one thing I thought I was lacking was a strong paternal member of the family, like a father
Hmm.
figure. But I had that in my grandfather. I had that in my uncle. But it was like I was more of along the lines of I'll try to be the best father I can be because I didn't see it. And just because I didn't see it, I'm not going to use it as an excuse, you know, to sleep with a bunch of women and have 17 kids from 3 different chicks and all that. It's like I told my mom, I was like, if I ever get a girl pregnant, I'm going to marry her. And
Yeah.
so luckily, the one I got pregnant, I married. But it was because I didn't have that steady father figure, and that's what I wanted my son to have or daughter. And when I found out I was having a son first, it was even crazier. I was like, all right, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no man. I'm gonna raise a respectable
Hmm.
young man. And now I got a young girl, and I'm scared she might be a thought, Ray. I gotta get her
Welcome
out of
to the
here.
club.
It's like she's like, I want to go to dance class. I'm like, no. Here's a hug. Yeah, that's the. Don't touch that. That's a pole.
Ballet.
You can do the ballet. You can do the ballet bar. Why are the poles in here vertical?
It's crazy that you say that because like that is a big part of the way that I think about raising not only raising my kids, but like when I talk to other people that are younger men, and I explain those type of things to them, um, which is it leads me to a point where like with the way that the president is now, I constantly wonder how people are explaining the shit that comes out of his mouth to their kids.
Am I frozen?
Yeah, you're frozen
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Am I back now?
a little bit, a little bit.
Am I back now?
You just got some grainy shit
Okay.
going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
but
outside too.
so I guess the
So
question kind of boils down to how do you think these people explain this shit to their kids? Because they defend the stuff that comes out of Trump's mouth so much, but I'm like, it's only so much you could defend. Like I've seen people that actually have like Mexican kids. So if he's just like, yeah, they're all rapists and murderers, like, what
hmm
are you supposed to say to your kids? Like, nah, don't worry, he's making everything great. It's like, but he just called me a rapist and murderer.
yeah, exactly. So what you say is, don't listen to him. He doesn't have your best interest at heart. So he's going to say whatever he thinks it's going to take to get him a vote. We already know what his populace is. We all know what his fan base is, and you know that's who he's pandering to. Um, as far as what goes on in your house, you control that. It's like this is what the president said. Okay, fine. Well, here's what I we, as in my wife and I, try to teach. This is what we have to teach. This is what you learn. This is the way we do things. Does dad look like a rapist and a murderer? Does your uncle? Does your cousin? No. So obviously he doesn't know you per se. He's generalizing, and we don't do that. It's never all. It's always one. It's a select few, but you can't be absolute in saying all white people are racist. All Jewish people have all the money. All black people are criminals. All black women are whores. Like you can't say stuff like that. Like you can't generalize and be absolute. Not in 2020. It can't happen. So that's how I would go about
What
it.
do you since obviously they're both biracial and I grew up in that same atmosphere, what do you tell, well, at least Aiden at this point, because obviously Aubrey's a little bit too young for it, about race, about his race, for instance, like you see this movement where it looks like, essentially the biggest civil rights movement in the history of the world. What do you tell them as
Mm-hmm.
far as that, what's going on and responding to it, and what do they ask questions about it?
Well, I didn't ask about it, especially with the whole George Floyd thing. And I was like, I know daddy's dark skinned and mom's light skinned or white skinned, and you're a mixture of both. But you could be, you could have 25 friends, right? And, it's the we don't see color, but let something go missing. And Aiden was over here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, yeah, but Aiden's my friend. He wouldn't do that. Yeah, but Aiden was over here. He's got a black dad. He's black. I was like, so Aiden, first and foremost, I know you're mixed. I know you're biracial, whatever you want to call it. You're
Mm-hmm.
black. Okay? Number one. Uh, Number two, dad and his friends have been pulled over by cops for, having a third brake light out that you can't see while you're driving, or for having a Lincoln Continental that's slammed in the ground that was owned by a cop. But it sucks that I have to tell you this, and you're 10. But if you ever get into it with the police, I want you to put your hands up, and I don't care if God Himself is calling you on your cell phone. You don't reach for it. Put it up, and you say, "My name's Aiden Harris. I mean you no harm. I have no intent to harm you, and whatever you tell me to do, I will do. I just want to call my parents, call my lawyer, whoever. But you keep your hands up where they're visible, and you say that. And whatever they ask you, you answer. Because if you reach for the wrong thing, you could get
Surely.
shot. That man, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like I'm like it's to the point where we're. It's almost like we're not allowed to
Yeah.
breathe because he got killed for saying I can't breathe. Eric Garner couldn't breathe. Like there's certain things that there's a certain way you have to move. That's why I stress being kind to everyone. So sometimes some of your white friends may have to vouch for you. Oh, Aiden would never do that. Raymond would never do that. Oh, I know Ray. I've known Ray for 25 years. He would never do that. Okay, fine. That's what you need because unfortunately you're at a disadvantage due
Mm-hmm.
to the color of your skin.
So I mean, go moving forward from that, it's crazy because I have a funny story where one time my daughter came home and she was like, "I have to write a report on Christopher Columbus," and I was like, "What's the report about? How he just killed a bunch of black people for no reason?" And she thought I was joking. So then she turned to my wife, and my wife's like, "Yeah, that's it." So I guess with that being said,
Oh, what is this?
what?
Oh,
What'd you get? It?
go ahead. Having some
Oh,
banana bread.
motherfucking banana bread. Okay. Got no. Listen, your iPhone resolution. You ain't got no Wi-Fi in your beach house.
Ah, shit. There we go. There we go. Hold on. Let me hit the Wi-Fi button. There we go. So
The
y'all.
what do you tell your kids as far as that? Like George Washington Christopher Columbus, Jesus. Because I worked at a Catholic school, and people will always say, well, everybody knows Jesus is black or Jesus is dark skinned. And I'm like, well, I literally saw 3 consecutive Catholic school classes draw a picture of Jesus, and they were all different races, and he was all white, every picture. So I'm like, whatever you think, you ain't saying it.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to that, they're not there yet, thank God. But I always tell Aiden, I was like, don't let people fool you. George Washington didn't have wooden teeth. He was taking them from slaves. Um, don't let people fool you. Slavery was, abolished at a certain point in time, but it didn't get to Texas until like 2 years later. Oh, by the way, the guy that's credited with abolishing slavery still had some. So, you're never, hey, you know what, guys, get rid of your slaves. Don't look over here. Don't worry about Mike. It's fine. They're in the house. It's okay. I'm not beating them
For
often.
sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So it's like, I'm like, dude, when he gets there, we'll have that conversation. He's not there yet. The problem with me is that I still try to keep my kids innocent. Unfortunately, with the rampant way they're killing people that look like Dad and Uncle Ray, it's kind of tough because he was just in his room playing PlayStation and it came across his phone and he was like, why'd they killed Mr. Lloyd? Why is this Mr. Lloyd guy? And I let him watch a portion of the video, but it's like that's the way it is.
Well,
Aiden. Sometimes people don't like
the
you
way
just
that
because of
we
the way
say
you look.
that,
And he's like, "That's not nice." And I was like, "Well, that's because you're telling you that have been desensitized to this."
we're all going to be that at some point. We're all going to be desensitized to it at some point, and people kind of don't realize that. It's like the way that we take that perspective, like what you're saying, and say, you know what, I think they have to be at a certain age because you think it as discussing it from such a serious point of view, but like on the school aspect of it, they're packaging information down to a level where it's like, Christopher Columbus came and he learned how to make corn. So now if you don't have a kid version to counter, hey, smallpox blankets and killing people, and Christopher Columbus actually never landed in America ever, then that information's already subconsciously in their head. It's just like walking by magazines and seeing information and not realizing kind of what you see, or when people see all these headlines go down their Facebook timeline and they process them without reading the articles. You're still bouncing all over the place. I don't know how you went from this beautiful quality at the beginning on the fucking beach to eating banana bread in fucking standard definition.
Hey.
You just got better with that.
Hey, listen, all right? You gotta understand something. Sometimes there's these, we don't want to talk about it, but right, let's call it what it is. There's things called white slaves, and when the nigga needs banana bread, bring the banana bread. It's that simple. But I can hear you.
Do you? Because it's breaking up a little bit. Do you hear me?
Now I hear you. I hear you perfectly.
Okay. No, I know.
I said I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I guess the next question I would ask you, and we can.
So let me ask you this: how's Florida?
In terms of
Florida?
What do you mean? Like what? What about it?
Oh, in terms of like living, like you ever come home from work at 8 o'clock in the morning and there's a fucking 6 foot gator in your driveway?
Not where I live at. There's not really a lot of gators over here, and
Is there an 82? Is there a 97-year-old man in a Grand Marquis?
Fucking listen, there could be anything. But the biggest difference, I mean,
Go ahead.
I'll tell you, in the county that I live in Pinellas County, is a lot less racist than Boston. It's one of the best interactions I've
Holy
ever
shit.
had with police, and I've had several of them. I haven't been
They
pulled
just look
over
for you.
for some shit that I haven't done once. I've been pulled over. I've been here for 5 years. I've been pulled over 3 times. Every time it was something that I'd actually done. So that was the issue. And then there's a story that I had one time where I was sitting in front of Walgreens waiting to pick up a prescription, and I saw this white dude come out with a bike with a trailer on it. He just rode down the street, and then like all the employees ran out after him. Like I was like, oh, this motherfucker must have stole some shit. So then I picked up my prescription and left. And when I was driving home, this police officer had 2 white dudes with a bike. They both had bikes, and he was holding them up and questioning them. And I stopped behind him, and I was like, sir. And he was like, yep. And I was like, are you looking for the guy that left Walgreens? And he was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, it's not them. And he just turned around and let them go. And you know damn well that would never happen in Massachusetts. He'd be like, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Get in the car. Get the fuck out of here.
He would have been like, as a matter of fact, it wasn't them. It was
So
you.
if let me package this next question in a way for us to go left a little bit. If you're
here we go.
So my daughter.
Here we go.
No, yeah, obviously my daughter's a little older than yours. So the question I would ask is like, say, hey, Aunt, you got to leave. You need a babysitter for your daughter, and you have 3 choices. One is a guy who says crazy shit. You don't know what he's gonna say yet. The other one's a rapist, and the other one's a pedophile. Who are you leaving her with?
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one. I mean, typically I don't leave women with rapists, but hey, she's got to fend for herself. No, I'm just kidding. I'd probably lean towards the crazy guy who's just going to try to fill her head with nonsense. But, you know,
I mean,
how old is she?
The ripe old Donald Trump age at 13?
Is she? Oh, no. No. I can't pick one, Ray. I can't pick one. Because the dude, is it crazy, like, you're not really black and you deserve to die? Or is it crazy, like, let me whore you out? And then there's a rapist and a pedophile.
No. Well, let me narrow it down a little bit to it's crazy like Harriet Tubman didn't really free the slaves. Yeah, you getting it now?
Oh, you want me to leave my daughter with Kimye? Okay. Yeah, I'd take Kimye in a heartbeat because my daughter knows better.
So it's funny to me that we get on this thing where everybody just goes, that motherfucker's crazy. And I'm like, but the other 2 motherfuckers, were we talking about the lesser of 2 evil here? We're just going to, like, this is like, nah, you know what? I don't want this guy. I want Skeletor. Like, what the fuck? We're literally choosing in between actual, enemies of the world.
That's crazy.
And we're calling him the craziest one when you got 2 motherfuckers that. Oh, are they not crazy? I mean, what are we talking about here?
I mean, but he is wilding though. He's just like, I think he's off his meds. I think he's always been crazy. I think him losing his mom at like close to the height of his prominence, if not his peak, was difficult. And that's the type of thing that'll throw anybody off. And if Kanye isn't taking, those 2, 3, 4 pills a day to make sure his levels are right, to make sure his serotonin is right, he's liable to just fly off the handle.
I mean, we're looking at that like it's fly off the handle. I literally watched a press conference with Trump where he told his fans to punch this black dude in the face when he was leaving. How the fuck is that not crazy and off the handle?
Well, that's because it's become second nature. It is what it is. Unfortunately, as crazy as he gets, people are desensitized to the stuff that he says. Like when he was trying to shut down that Asian reporter, he was just like, China. China. It's like, whoa, buddy, I'm not Chinese. I'm from Vietnam. That's fine. Your people eat bats. China. It's like he's just the worst of the worst, and there's not much you can do about it
Oh
besides
yeah, but for who? Die or die.
vote or
That's my
die.
point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
The pedophile, the rapist, or the
uh,
crazy guy. That's where we're at right now. Because I don't want motherfuckers smelling
oh
my daughter's
shit.
hair either.
I, I can't. I can't, man. I don't
You
know.
know, so
Sometimes I think Costa
yeah, well,
Rica
we
would be
ain't
a
even
good
allowed to
move.
go there right now.
Yeah, and those bugs are just too
You
big.
ain't
I
even
can't
seen, man. You see big butterflies,
can't
so it's
do it.
not like it's Australia. If you're in the city, you don't see no damn bugs. It's the same thing as here. Yes, it's in the.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I don't want to see any men in
So,
moth costumes.
so I'm doing this new thing now where where when I watch movies, I like attach like adult themes to them. Like for instance, I was watching
Hmm.
the Karate Kid one the other day, not the Jaden Smith one,
Hmm.
but like the original with what's his name, Ralph Macchio or whatever. And I was like, where the fuck
Yeah.
does Mr. Miyagi work at? This motherfucker had 7 classic cars in a fucking house. Like he had a house where the mailman walked up and was like, "Can I bring my wife here one day? It's amazing up here."
How about he had a speaking of rapists and pedophiles? How about he had a 14-year-old boy with his shirt off just waxing his car?
But I'm like, yo. So
It's
then
like, what
I
are
was
you
looking at it
doing,
from
buddy?
the outside perspective, and like there was times where like me and my wife was watching it. We watched all 3 of them. So in part 2, he just walks up and fucks up this dude's whole vegetable business by like breaking some shit on purpose. And then he's like, "Oh, what's this?" and holds it up for everybody to see. And I'm like, "Yo, if you were in the hood, you'd get fucking killed for that." But now we're supposed to take your side because
You
you're the
get
Karate Kid.
killed for that.
And
Yeah,
then
he's
the
the
whole other
karate guy.
perspective is like you got the dude. And it's in part 1 because in part 2 they did some part 2 and 3 they did some off the handle shit. But in part 1, you look at the guy who runs the
Hmm.
Cobra Kai dojo and you're like, why is this motherfucker so mad? Like when you're a kid. But now when you're older, you're like, yo, he's making crazy money off these random white kids that are paying him money. And now he's gonna have this random
Hmm.
dude that doesn't even work anywhere. That's apparently an undercover millionaire. Exactly.
Come fuck up the
Fight some
business.
one random kid and that kid's gonna fuck up my whole dojo,
Yeah,
which in turn fucks up his money because he
yeah,
ain't got Mr.
exactly.
Miyagi money. You don't got them veteran checks coming in from Happy
Yeah,
Days.
Mr. Miyagi. Yo, now I'm gonna have to watch that movie and be like, yo, this dude is low key Bill Gates, like Asian Bill Gates, just mad cars, big ass crib, can walk anywhere, do anything. Yeah, wow. I never looked at
Bro, I
I
look
never
at
looked
so
at
now
the
it's like I
Karate
don't
Kid
just look
like
at that.
that.
I look at cases of just over the top white privilege. I look at cases of like Me Too movement, like or like when back in the day they could
Hmm.
just say the most outrageous shit and you look at it and you're like, yo, you can't do that. And I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute. You can smoke
Oh my
cigarettes and put
god.
them out on people's faces. This is the
Okay,
70s.
okay. All right. How about this? I was watching like an old episode of Entourage just last night, and that agent Ari Gold told um, his Asian assistant that he's giving him 24 hours to come back and be my slave because if I was the type of guy that would like chubby little Asian men sucking on my dick, then I know you'd be back in a hurry. And it's like this was like 2009. This episode came out. It's like that's not
Yo,
coming out
so
now.
that
It's not
specifically Entourage,
like
I had that conversation with somebody the other day. If that dude was black in real life, he'd be
oh yeah,
canceled
he'd be
because
canceled.
they would treat
Oh
him
yeah,
like, oh, you're so
oh
arrogant,
yeah.
you're so this, you're that. But now when it's Ari Gold, it's
Mm-hmm.
look at how business oriented he is, and look at how he gets shit done. And the perspective of it is so much different than like the way that they make To look.
Oh shit, that's crazy. Yeah, To was like that. No sir, he
The
wasn't.
other movie that I saw that was like was
But
Bloodsport, the original Bloodsport. So I'm looking at Bloodsport with Van Damme, and I'm looking at the dude that he's with. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
Ray Jackson. He looks like a biker with fucking Jerry curl and a bandana. And I'm like, where does this motherfucker work? This is not. It's not like you just got flown out to the Super Bowl. This event is in the fucking basement of some fucking like third-rate hotel. It's not like they're paying you with a stipend and fucking giving
Mm-hmm.
you meals. I'm like, why is this shit?
Nope.
I don't understand why. Where does he work?
Yo, you are the most random dude
Yo, this
ever.
is the way I watch movies now.
Blood
Like you see
sport.
shit now from an adult perspective. So I have to go back and watch movies that I missed when I was a kid just to go, how the fuck can these dudes just hang out in the middle of China for 2 weeks? China is not cheap. China is pretty fucking expensive. So now you're just
It's
there.
not.
Who's paying for your fucking
It is.
food? You got random military motherfuckers chasing you down, and you got enough money to just do random butt naked ass splits in your hotel room.
Hey, I would never in my life wear black silk underwear. Double impact, baby. He played a
So
twin. I don't know how he
I
did
think
that.
so. Even to get back to that to the point about like when it's early enough or when it's late enough to explain different aspects of stuff to your kids. Another thing that I've looked at when it comes to shows is that the symbolism of you seeing a person in a show doesn't go anything further from your mind meeting one person. And I was saying this to my wife the other day, like as much as we love The Wire and the characters in The Wire, we have to understand that that perspective of The Wire is the creator, David Simon, thinking of somebody like Omar.
Mm-hmm.
You meet one person that's like that. And now you go, okay, well this person's like that, and you
Mm-hmm.
put them on TV. But now with the success of your show
Mm-hmm.
goes, now millions of people see what your one idea of one
Yep.
person is and assume that there's way
Mm-hmm.
more than one of those people. So where we say everybody's individual in
Mm-hmm.
the way that they think about it, when you go and look at it like that, now you've painted an image of those people that's like, yo, this is what it is. And everybody sees it. So now your one idea of a person that you encountered one time becomes everybody's fucking idea of that one person. And that has been going on forever. So now when you look at every show and everybody's a criminal all the time, when you encounter them in real life, black or white, you're lying to yourself if you say that doesn't have an impact on your mind.
Mm-hmm. But how about the juxtaposition? How many one of the greatest shows, if not the greatest show in television history, I think, in Breaking Bad, how many chemistry teachers you think get typecast like that? Like, there's no way that other kids in the Northeast or the Midwest or the South are like, oh, my chemistry teacher is definitely selling meth on the side. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one that can intellectually break down the property to have it 99.8% pure. But Mr. Murphy isn't doing that. You know what I mean? Oh, hold on one second. Hold on. I got to switch
See, I
AirPods.
told
One's
you.
about to die. Hold on. Hey, I
I need
got
that
two,
type of
bro.
money. I need
Hold
that
on one
Mr.
second.
Miyagi money. Oh, you just go. Where the fuck you got him at? Oh, you back?
Hello?
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm back, bro. I just had to switch
Oh, and
AirPods
everybody,
real quick.
just for the record, for everybody that's watching, since I forgot it on the intro, I'm trying to get my YouTube subscribers up. So get on YouTube in perfect audio and get my subscribers up because I'm only at like 100 now. I need to get up to like 1,000 in like the next hour. But also Spotify, Imperfect
A
Podcast,
thousand in the next
Apple
hour?
Podcast, the Imperfect Podcast. Get on there, like the pages.
Hey, I
What
need you
the
to not
hell?
judge me.
The
Okay?
fuck is that? The World Wildlife Fund mask? You put on that mask and fucking froze your goddamn definition again.
Let's go around here. I'm going outside. Give me 2 seconds.
God
Hey,
damn. You're lucky this is the Imperfect
Come on, bro.
podcast. This shit
Jeez.
wouldn't work with like Jamel Hill.
Yeah, fuck you, man. Oh, man. This is what it's come to.
God damn.
How's this? Am I
Nah,
frozen
you've been
still?
moving. Was that a sunset or retractable awning?
Yeah.
Stop moving before you fuck up. Listen, man.
Come on,
Hey.
man.
Since you went and gotten your mask, here's some crazy shit for you that I was talking about yesterday. Think about if you walked into a
Okay,
bank
I'm
with a
listening.
mask fucking a year ago.
They wouldn't even let you walk into a bank with a
Exactly.
scully on.
Now they're like, "What are you doing, sir? Put your glasses and mask on and rob us."
I'm surprised no drug addict has thought of that yet. But then again, you're in Florida, so it's probably happened like 3 times this week. Has it happened 3
I'm
times
saying,
this
yo,
week?
I feel like people are so enamored with this shit that they forget to even rob you, which is crazy. I don't know
Yeah.
how they haven't put two and two together yet, but it's like I feel like at any time the government's doing a good job of keeping everybody calm in the midst of I guess mayhem that could happen at any time.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So what else you got for Florida questions?
I don't know. How you doing? Should I move there? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. Oh, it's nice and hot. Um, how's the Florida weather?
How's the Florida weather? It's goddamn been 100 degrees for two weeks straight. You can't even walk outside in Florida.
I see. Kind of messed up because now I'm in the sun.
You're trying to go everywhere. American flags in the backdrop and all types of stuff, man. You making too many movements.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Trump Prince, baby. You know what it is.
Oh damn, American flag in the backdrop. You out there, boy.
Hold on 1 second.
This motherfucker killing me like we ain't in the middle of a goddamn podcast.
This is what happens when one of your guests is on vacation. You should have told me that beforehand, or been a man about Thursday.
Yeah,
I'm,
man.
I'm just messing
You have
around.
no fucking
I'm just
idea.
messing around. Oh no, I have every idea.
Life is crazier than I even
I'm
know what's
married.
going on. When the IRS tells you, hey, you know your 26-week late tax return? You got another month to wait.
Oh, so that means I'm getting that email soon.
Well, it depends. I don't know because what that happens is I'm calling different ones and they're acting like, oh, they're closed. It's like every single time you call somebody, it's different fucking information. So it's like, oh yeah, this is closed. And I'm like, motherfucker, that's like 2 phone calls a row shit. Like, do y'all not communicate with each other? And that's kind of the place I'm at now when it comes to them or when it comes to even here. Like, I'm dead serious when I'm like, yo, I'm making less money
You
than people
froze,
that
bro.
are. What'd you do?
There we go. I don't know. I just looked to my left and it was frozen. But you're back now, fine.
I've been fine. I've been fine the whole
Hello?
time.
You're in the house. Hey, look at you, fine as wine. Can you see me? Damn.
Man, you doing too goddamn much.
I told you I was on vacation, Ray. I got
All right.
for my
So
family.
listen, you got questions? Let me know if you got some questions. If you don't got no questions, I'm gonna let you go back to your damn vacation.
Well, can we do a part
A
2?
part 2 for what? What you want? We could do a part
I
10
don't
for all
know.
I
Maybe
care.
you got
Listen,
more
I'm
questions. I
going
don't
through
know.
my questions, but you're busy running around putting on goddamn fucking Milo and Otis masks and shit.
You know what I'm saying? I know you heard of the dome, but have you heard of the broiled master?
Oh, you about to cook?
I'm about
All
to
right. All
cook.
right.
You know what I'm
Well, then,
saying?
in any event, I'm gonna
No,
let
do
you
you need me to
go.
go? Do you need me to go and get cheese or something?
Thank you, sir, for
All
joining in.
right.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 down the line in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. This has been the Imperfect podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe,
Okay.
do whatever it
Make
is
sure
you
you
got
guys
to do,
right here.
and that's it.
All right, bro. Have a good one.
Straight.
Yeah. All right. You too.